Well, good morning and welcome to Soulbirth here on Edge Radio Australia. The lovely Faye is here, ready to go now. You have been so busy with preparations. I've seen it on social media. I'll tell you right now, becoming a bit of a social superstar, really.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
For doing one post.
Oh, it's all it takes. It's all it takes. Great stuff, though, honestly, because today, what are we going to talk about? Because I know, I read the post, right?
Oh,
so I know
did
what it's
you?
going to be.
Sneaky.
But I'm going to pretend that I don't know, just for, a bit of show and tell.
Yeah. Show and tell. I like show and tell.
And for an adult, that means a whole different thing, doesn't it, really? But that's a different part of the birth process. We won't cover that today.
And we're not going there today.
No, not today. Not today.
No.
But let's jump into it. What is today's show all about?
Well, because last week we were talking about soul alignment,
Yep.
about, living your life on purpose with, aligned with your soul purpose.
Yep.
So today I thought we'd talk about visualization, the power of visualization.
Now, this is something I've always been incredibly skeptical of, okay?
Oh, again. Let's see if we can convert you by the end of today.
Yes, I can be converted. I reckon
Yes.
it's possible. And this is probably a great opportunity, too, to say to everyone who's watching, jump on board, type away. We love seeing your comments, and whether we see them this week or next week or during the week. But it's great that we can pop them up on the screen and sort of, interact. This is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
But, from the skeptic point of view, even as little as about 10 days ago, I was actually at a friend's place and they were doing visualization boards.
Vision boards.
Vision boards.
That's right, yes.
I got a little wordy on that, but they're vision boards. And I still struggle with them. I still struggle with the concept, because I tend to think if I can think it, I can build it, I can make it happen.
Right.
But I don't, and which makes no sense because I'm also a man and men are incredibly visual. Mm-hmm. So why don't I put it on a vision board?
Exactly.
I know. I'm
so
a contradiction.
So how does that not sort of relate in your mind?
I don't know. It's a complex thing up here.
So it's very complex in your head. I don't even want to go there.
No. No one wants to live there, not even me, right?
No.
But it's interesting because I have always been dead against it. I've always, I say only a few days ago I was there, but I'll be honest, like I'm slowly having my arm twisted a bit.
Right.
I used to watch people who would put like sports cars, pictures of sports cars for argument's sake, on their fridge, and then they'd see it every day when they went for the milk.
You'd rather just be in it.
I'd rather just be in it. Exactly right. Like,
but then don't you visualize that you're in it?
Yeah, but I don't put it on the fridge, you know what I mean? That's kind of...
No, but it's in your mind.
Yeah,
and that's what visualization is.
Okay, you tell me I don't have to stick it on a piece of paper.
Vision boards are different. They're a tool to help.
Gotcha.
To help you to visualize. Like if you're not a visual person,
right,
you can create a vision board, which is a great thing to do at this time of year. At the start of the year, probably half our viewers have been doing vision boards, I'm sure.
Probably, more than likely.
Where, you assess, what is it that you want to attract into your life this year?
Okay.
And so then you go about thinking about, you can write a list of all the things that you'd like to attract into your life this year. And then you go about finding pictures and words to put on a board that represent that thing that you want to attract.
Yep.
And then you put it up somewhere where you're going to see it every day regularly and have affirmations on it and all that thing. Because what it does is every time you see it, it prompts you to think about it and visualize it. So what's it doing? It's going into your subconscious mind, which controls our thoughts and behaviours. Well,
certainly does.
Our mind, our brain doesn't decipher the difference between reality and imagination.
Some more than others.
Yeah, exactly. But like if you can see it in your mind, like you just said, then that's visualization. So
I've been doing all this time while I've been a cynic.
See, this is what I love about you, Aaron. You always say, look, I can't do that, and I'm a cynic, like I don't agree with it. And then it turns out you've been doing it anyway.
There you go. I find it to be slightly healthy to be cynical because if you just believe boom, 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 and lots of things in my life I've just believed, and I don't know, it's always taken me down the wrong path.
That's if you follow blindly, don't do your research.
There's the difference, right?
That's the difference. But that's just following something and you're not tapping into your intuition.
Yep.
Whereas when you tap into your intuition, there's usually something telling you that you need to research something a bit further. And you might go along that line, like, as we know well and truly, do your own research on things, and then what's your gut telling you is tapping into your inner self. So, again, like everything I share here, it's all about going inward. It's tapping into your inner self.
I do agree with that. I really do agree. Like the power that you've got within yourself is utterly amazing.
Yeah.
And so many people don't tap into that. Exactly. Or perhaps they just maybe don't dive deep enough. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Maybe
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fear around that because when you
I think
dive
you're right.
deep,
You don't know what
other
you might
stuff comes
find.
up. You find a lot of things
that's
that
right.
are buried down there. That
All
you
of
don't
a sudden,
want to see.
you feel like they're Freud in the room. You're laying on a couch. You know, they're asking you
Well,
about your
talk
childhood.
about the couch, it's
Exactly.
very
We've
comfy.
got the couch covered, so we're sussed on
Just have
that.
to lay down.
Yeah. Yeah, we've got some cushions there. Get comfy.
We have.
I'll
Look,
become
I'm very
the
comfy here.
clinician here.
Exactly.
All right. Well, in our everyday life, okay, I've mentioned the old vision board. That's one
Mhm.
method that people use. So, what's another path we could take?
By doing guided visualizations,
Mhm.
where if you have trouble doing it yourself, as in visualizing things automatically, there are plenty of guided visualizations that you can download from the internet or from YouTube,
Okay.
anywhere that you can just tap in guided visualization and on any subject that you want. So if you want to, if you want to attract money into your life, there are you can tap in. I want to do a visualization,
no question,
about attracting money or abundance or love or anything like that. And then you just get to lay on the couch and enjoy, close your eyes, and it takes you on a process where you journey into your subconscious.
Okay.
And it's usually like walking down a garden path or something, or finding your place in nature where you feel really comfortable, and then it will take you on a journey. It's just somebody talking you through to enter that place in your subconscious mind.
So you can kind of create your own algorithm.
Yeah, you can. Oh, I like this. Because we are like a computer system.
We are,
and we can hack into our own computer system, into the programming, into the hardware, I guess, and actually program it. And that's our subconscious. We can program our subconscious.
How good would it be? It's your life, right? Control Alt Delete. Boom.
Well,
right?
we can.
Well, yeah. How?
We can. Well, this is what hypnosis and NLP,
okay.
neuro-linguistic programming. It's all about. We can go into our subconscious and we can delete programs that no longer serve us. We can rewrite the programs that we want to be
I was just wiping the whole damn hard drive myself, but okay, it's starting again. No, but actually it's a really good point with NLP. It's a great sort of method for doing that. And hypnosis, there's so many other ways where you can go, I want to take away, that doesn't serve me anymore. I mean, ultimately that's what it comes down to. It doesn't serve me anymore. Get rid of it.
Exactly. And this is a good time of year. At the start of the year, everybody's doing it because, we're done with the old year. Everybody's glad to be done with the year past and then stepping into the new year. So this is a time when people are writing down their goals, their visions, doing their visualizations, doing their vision boards,
Well, and also being 2025, okay, we're a quarter way into the old century here, okay.
Gosh, gone in a flash, hasn't it?
It hasn't. I mean,
showing
really.
our age when
I don't know. Have you all recovered from Y2K yet? Right?
Exactly.
Gee, wasn't that serious?
I know.
Your mobile phone didn't work for about 30 seconds.
I remember all the oh my God, we're turning over the new millennium, all this stuff. The world's going to end. It's all going to be like the computers are going to just. Right? I know.
And what was it? Tick, tick, tick.
Normal.
It's all there. It's all the same.
We're still here on planet Earth and everything's still the same as it was.
But we're quarter of a way through the century. To me, it just feels like a significant kind of date. We've seen big changes in the world in the last 24 hours, quite frankly. And from that point of view, I don't think there's a better time to actually to start again, to look.
Absolutely. Every day is an opportunity to start afresh.
Yeah.
And we can get up every morning and plant new seeds in our subconscious about how we want our day to unfold or what we want our life to be like.
It's a great point. Why do we always go, on Monday I'll start that diet, on Monday I'll start that? Why not just start it now?
Exactly.
Whatever it happens to be.
It's changing our mindset is the main thing.
Sure.
And then by practicing it's positive affirmations,
the
visualizations, and changing our habits, and just repetitively doing that. Because they say it takes 30 days to change a habit.
They do.
Yeah, so if you can dedicate yourself to the next 30 days to change your habit or your way of thinking into, something more positive, then by the end of that 30 days, you should have created a new habit in your subconscious that should have locked in.
Right. The affirmation thing's another one that, again, I get skeptical of these things. And so, I'm here to get you to convince me that I'm wrong. But I know I'm already wrong, and I'll tell you why. I stayed at a friend's place after I lost my house with the fires and everything. I obviously needed somewhere to stay, and I had wonderful friends all sort of threw in and helped me out. And a particular friend, I stayed there for a while. Anyway, they had affirmations around the house. Right? So, you go in the loo. Affirmation. You go in the bathroom, you go in the kitchen. It was all over the place. And at first I just kind of thought, I'm not, okay, what's this all about? But after a while I felt myself smiling.
There you go.
Right? I felt myself like I knew that my mood had been changed by this beautiful statement in front of me.
Yep.
And yeah, it rewrote my brain of what I thought of things.
See, there you go. So you've just proven that affirmations work.
Yeah, I know, but I want to disagree. Yeah,
he wants to. He's just such a disagreeable character.
That's what it is. That's it. I want evidence before I go with something. I'm a guy who wants to do my research. Okay, I don't take things at face value, but and I actually really don't mind being proved wrong. If I'm wrong, okay, if I've had someone like yourself who's been able to bring me the new information and I've looked at it, I've analysed it, I've experienced it, then I'll go, yeah, okay, hand in there.
Which is a great way to be.
Yeah, well, I think if you're not open to it, if you're closed-minded to it, you miss so much in life.
You do.
You really do.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yep. But yeah, with the affirmations, they go hand in hand with visualizations, because then, if we can, that's a way, another tool to actually keep reaffirming what it is that we're trying to bring into our life. And, with visualizations too, and affirmations, it's all about being in the positive and also telling your mind like it's already happened, So you're not saying, I wish for this, or, this is what I want, because then you're still lacking that and you're still wanting it. Whereas with visualizations, it's about bringing it into the here and now, so as if it's already happened. So, and it's a lot of gratitude as well. So you're thanking the universe for this already coming in. So the wealth in my account, all the money in my bank account, I'm still waiting for that one. I'm reaffirming that.
Yes. A big fail in that department.
The physical takes a bit longer to catch up.
I had this conversation with someone last night, because a lot of us are talking about money, because there's been some hard times. There's no question about that. But it's not, to me, money is just simply a tool to buy some freedom.
Yeah, it's energy. Okay. It's all energy.
Yeah, if you can do more things with your life. You're free to do things. You're not restricted. So, it's like a lot of people treat it like it's an evil thing. It's not an evil thing at all. It's just, in fact, I've got another friend who calls money happy tickets.
Oh, that's a nice way. See, that's an affirmation.
There you go. I mean, this man has a lot of happy tickets. Maybe that's why he's always smiling.
Yeah.
But what a great way of looking at it. It's not this, I don't know, this ego-driven thing. It's fact of, by having good money in the account and having that freedom, he can do wonderful things for his family, and he sees a positive of it.
That's right, because it's the person that's using the money as to what their intention is behind using the money, which is the same for all kinds of energy, because it's an energy exchange.
Sure.
Money is just, or cash is just when we have it, is
never let go of it. Never, ever.
Exactly. It's just the tool to exchange for other services and things. So back in the old days, they used to exchange cows or bread or veggies and stuff for in exchange for whatever else they needed.
Things like that.
Exactly. Well, that's true. When I lived in Papua New Guinea, they exchanged pigs.
Really?
The bride price was however many pigs the man had. So
no way.
Yeah, so that's what women are worth.
Okay.
Because pigs are seen as a man's wealth up there, because that's their monetary exchange.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you see, it's all energy. It depends on what you give value to.
You tell me a person who's not eating bacon is not happy. I mean, come on, right? I can understand the value of the pig.
Well, I don't eat bacon anyway.
I know, but I certainly do. And
actually, that actually put me off eating meat when I was up there, because of the way they.
Is that right?
Yeah, when they do pig kills, it was just horrible.
Oh,
so
keep away from that kind of thing.
Yeah, so I don't like seeing animals tortured. But anyway,
no. Well, neither do I. But yeah, I just shut my mind off to that bit. It's pretty hard. I mean, I eat a steak. I used to have a pet cow, right? So, I just separate the two. But anyway, that's a whole other conversation.
That's another whole conversation, which we're not going to get into.
No, we're not going to. But I was going to ask you this one, okay? Because obviously we talk so much about birth here, being Soulbirth.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. In my life, I've had many couples in my life, friends who couldn't get pregnant, okay? They've struggled to, all that kind of thing. I've never had that issue. I've done I can tap a woman on the shoulder on the way past and sorry, oops, right?
Super fertile.
Oh, a bit of a running joke on that one, but there you go.
I won't rub up against you then.
No. Yeah, so just be very careful. Be very careful indeed.
I've had all mine.
There's a reason you're on that couch.
Closed shop now.
No, that's right. Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't say that. But oh dear, we're a worry. But I think there's so many people struggle with that, and they put so much pressure on themselves.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So if you actually visualise you having a baby, right? You look at when they're cute and they're cuddly, not the bit where they're making mess everywhere. No. When they're cute and cuddly and adorable, if you visualise that, does that is that going to improve your chances of having a baby?
Well, it does help. See, I work a lot with couples with this particular issue.
Yep.
That, couples that are having trouble conceiving. I work with them on a spiritual level, but also integrate all of these things, all the tools like meditation and mindfulness and visualization, on top of the connection with the spirit. And we design a package around that very thing where they can help, visualize this child coming in. And when I've worked with couples, I've actually helped them to conceive naturally, even when they've been on IVF, unsuccessfully for so long. So
how often do you hear that story though? Honestly,
all the
when
time.
people take that pressure off themselves, right? And maybe just look at it in more of a sort of a spiritual way. Just look at the purity of it. That's what you want to bring into your life. So visualize and
and it's amazing like the stress that it does cause on a relationship when you can't fall pregnant, like especially when you're going through IVF, because it is such a intense program.
And there's so many extra stresses brought to that. I mean, there's the stress of trying to have a baby. There's ovulation time, this, all of that kind of thing. There's the financial stress, because obviously it's an extremely expensive thing to do. There's so many things that it does to a relationship that I can see what would be, would be a struggle.
And it creates a tension, and then the baby won't come in anyway, because they're, causing an issue, and these souls wanting to come in, want to come into a loving space.
No, I'm not coming into this.
I'm not coming in there. There's too
way.
much stuff going on. You need to sort your stuff out first. I've had that.
Yeah, I can imagine it. I mean, I would think, and I'm don't want to speak for you, but would you say that's a large percentage of people that you speak to? Or?
Yeah, well, those that are having trouble conceiving, I mean, there's all different reasons.
No, of
so,
course.
it's all personal. So that's the interesting thing when you tap into spirit as a whole other dimension, because you can find out what the soul coming in, if there is a soul contract, what they're actually wanting and why they're not coming in, what's the hold up or the blockage. So,
well, we've talked about soul contracts before.
Yeah, we have.
So there's no reason not to do it again. I mean, from the point of view of, could that just the block? Can you explain the block to me? The block of why they won't come through?
Well, because souls coming in have a contract with their parents that they've chosen. This is another whole show's worth of chatting.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So if you could just, could do us the favour of making it the Reader's Digest version.
Exactly.
Just the Whitman sampler.
We will actually do this, and I'd love to get one of the couples in actually that I've worked with that have had, be able to fall pregnant after working with me, because the stories are all different. They're all very individual, but souls will come in won't come in if there's an issue, whether it be a physical, mental, emotional, or whatever relationship issue that they want sorted out, because these souls are pretty advanced and they want everything
not
to
their
be
first lap.
And they're all they want to create the life that they're coming into, and there's so much depth to it. But when there's a block there and they're not coming in, there's usually an issue that needs to be worked out. So we can work on that, which is what I do with people, which I love working with people like that.
And I kind of bring it up for that reason, because I love the fact you light up every time you talk about these things.
There you go.
Well, it's so much, obviously, it's so important to you.
It is. It really is. Yeah. So,
because birth, it's not what it's become, in so many ways. In a hospital, it's just like an operation. It's a process. It's
it's become medicalized.
Boom, stamp.
Yeah, and it's all based on fear. That's the thing, and that's what is part of the block with people who are having trouble conceiving. It is the fear that sets in, especially if they're getting older, getting past their, childbearing years, and they're getting really panicky about, I've missed the boat, but it's not always the case, because there's, even if they do have to go down the IVF path, for whatever reason, you can do it in a more connected kind of way and guided by the spirit of the baby coming in.
Sure.
So, but there's so much fear around the whole childbearing stage in the system. So that's what I'm passionate about, is changing that, getting rid of the fear and actually bringing in the love, the compassion, the connection.
It's not a new thing. We've been having babies for a while now.
We have a long time since the beginning of humankind.
Wouldn't exist without it. And, it's not that long ago, we just said about being 2025. 100 years ago is not that long ago, right? When the world was very different, and quite frankly, birth was, and like you said, in Papua New Guinea, the birth is a very different thing. I've spoken to people who have been involved with births in different countries, and it's a far more natural process.
It is. It's a natural physiological process. However, there are advantages to the medicalisation when it's used in the right way, because now we don't lose as many mothers and babies to, things that can be prevented. So, and that's one thing I was acutely aware of in Papua New Guinea, because, if they have those conditions, they die. And this is like it used to be. But now, thanks to the medical, medicalisation, I guess. And we've got more modern facilities and things that we can keep those people alive, whether that's a good thing or a bad thing. You know, obviously we want to preserve human life, but, you know, then it's survival of the fittest in those cultures. However, you know, it is the fear-based system that I want to change, because, you know, when women are in fear, they can't actually relax and birth properly. And this is where affirmations and visualization come in, and why hypnobirthing is a thing, because it's using hypnosis to actually reprogram the subconscious mind when we're pregnant, you know, preparing us for birth, so that, you know, that we change our mindset around that, and we get rid of the fear, and we open up, and we visualize birth going easily, you know, our body opening up like a flower, a lotus opening up and allowing the baby to come through. So it's really powerful when during pregnancy.
I'm going to make a terrible analogy here. Okay.
No. Don't worry, we're not bringing cars into this one.
No cars. No, don't now.
But they do mix sometimes.
Oh, they absolutely do. Trust me.
Babies choose to be born in the car sometimes.
Yeah, or because of the car. Anyway.
Exactly.
But no, I was going to say, okay, this is stupid. And again, remember, before you sort of have a go at me, okay, I'm a man. Okay, so I'm on the other side of the process. But okay, alcohol. Right, work with me on this one. Okay, when I'm not saying, you know, people should get plastered left, right, and centre, but okay, what happens if you've had a few drinks and you're a bit loose, right, and you fall over? You get up and you sort of, you know what? You're loose and you're.
I don't know, Aaron. I've never had this experience.
You've never had that? Okay, right.
No, this is a new one for me.
I have had this.
That's why I can talk to the expert here.
I don't know if I'm an expert. But what I'm saying is, you don't hurt yourself, right? Okay.
Right.
Now, it's because you are in a naturally loosened state. Okay?
Right, yes.
Okay. And I think very much if you're in a relaxed state and you're with the people you love, and it's kind of, and I'm trying to explain. Well, I'm trying to explain. I'm trying to understand.
No, it's a great analogy, actually. Yeah, it's really good.
Your body's ready for it, right? Your body's ready for it.
Yeah. You know, so who's ever thought you could tie that into childbirth? But it is
I'll
true.
Give it a go. Why not?
Well, it's interesting because when you do tap in and you visualize and you get the flow of the right hormones going in your body, which comes from visualization and also certain touch and states that you get into, then you release all your natural endorphins and oxytocins, which make you feel good, and you relax and everything. So you're kind of on a high.
Well, and this is something I've learned very much from you. We were talking about adrenaline, right? Yeah. And I thought adrenaline would be a positive kind of thing.
No, but not in birth.
No, not in birth.
The opposite of what you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, because adrenaline is the fight-flight response. So, you know, it's going to get up and go and everything shuts down to get you to safety kind of thing. Yep. So birth shuts down when you...
Is this when everything sort of stops at 8 centimetres?
Yeah, and this is when women come into the hospital to give birth.
Yep.
And because they're in really well-established labour.
Yep.
They come into the hospital and suddenly everything shuts down. It's because the fear of the system. You know, they come in and it's a foreign environment. They don't know anybody. It's all cold and sterile, and it's like all this. So their whole body shuts down because of the adrenaline response. So then you need to invoke the other response. You need to get them all relaxed and, you know, calm down, darken the room, get them comfortable, get all the things unpacked, and maybe get them in the shower or the bath and get them to relax and get the visualizations happening. And this is where they're so powerful, is because then you can actually start just guiding them through a visualization to tap back into their inner self and, you know, their baby, and actually start visualizing this birth and take themselves to a different space to what's external to them. You can create a different environment externally, so we can change the environment, even though most people don't know that. They think they have to stick in this sterile room. You can actually shift stuff around and dim the lights and everything. But internally, that's where you want them to be, is internally, because you can create a different landscape entirely on the inside by using visualization.
To be absolutely frank with you, Faye, you just read my mind.
Oh, my God, no.
I was about, terrible place to be. But I was about to ask you about, like, practical steps you can do when you go into a sterile environment. And look at that. And I didn't know, as a dad, going into, you know, and I was like, when all my kids have been born, you know, I like to be very involved, right? So as much as I possibly can. Right? I mean, to me, parenting is it's a two-way street. You know, two people made that baby, two people should be involved in it, you know. So what I'm getting at is when you go into that room, no one has ever said, oh, you know, hey, Aaron, you can change the lighting, you can move this around or whatever. And I've said to my wife, you know, like, you know, what can I do? What's going to make you more comfy? Well, she doesn't know because she hasn't been told that.
Exactly.
So she'll sort of say, oh, you know, oh, can you put a pillow under my knee or whatever?
Yeah.
Right. But it's all very limited.
Yeah, and
Whereas-
generally when you go to the classes at the hospital, they don't tell you that either. They tell you because they're telling you, how you are going to birth at their hospital.
Yes,
this
correct.
is what we will do for you, but it's like they don't tell you all the things you can do for yourself, or that you can, make the most of. They actually have a storeroom full of bean bags and birthing balls and all kinds of things that you can use. No.
Well, I do remember with my eldest son that I actually asked about music, and they said something along the lines of, we prepare, because I was going to bring, that's right, I was going to bring in a stereo. And they said, oh, no, we prefer you didn't do that.
Yeah. Right. No, well, that's the thing. They say that, but it's like, well, hang on a minute. It's your birth. You can do what you want. You can bring that in. You just have to get the, if it's an electrical thing, like, you have to get it checked by the hospital electrician to get a little ticket on it to say that it's okay to be used.
And I don't think you got a lot of time for that at that time.
No, you don't. Well, you do it ahead of time, but, but most people use their phone, just listen to their iPhone, their music on there with little headphones in. Yeah.
So the fact that I wanted to bring something in that looked like, 80s gangster.
Like this thing down here.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember having one of those.
How cool are they?
The boombox.
Boombox.
Exactly.
That boombox, side note, checked it out because I like my rare kind of weird stuff. So I'm going to carry on. 1978, that boombox down there in front
that
of
would
us.
have been, no wonder it looks familiar because I had one exactly like that.
Is that right? That's one of the absolute first ones, as I understand.
Yeah. Had the tape. I had even one with a double tape deck.
Oh, you're fancy.
Yeah, because I was recording from one to the other.
So you're there, with your fingers there ready on the free buttons. Okay, when Gary Shannon's talking on the radio, ready, and go.
That's right. I remember doing that. Oh my God, that's amazing.
What a great way of living. Now those kids today, they just don't know.
I know, and I do remember taking one of these in for a friend who was having a baby way back because her son's about the same age as my son, my oldest, who's 35 this year. So I remember when I went in, because I was her birth support person at the time, or doula, and I took in my boom box for her because we didn't have anything smaller. That was it. And I took in my classical music to play, and I put it on, like I hadn't adjusted the volume. I was in the hospital, and I went to put on this nice relaxing classical music to get into the space, and what came out was, it was full bore. I don't know who played with the buttons, and it came out, that it's that William Tell overture.
I love it.
Full bore.
Again, my firstborn son, his favourite CD growing I would actually put it on the top of his cot kind of thing. So, and I think the vibration's got a lot to do with it as well. But he liked to fall asleep too, and I can't believe it still to this day. Nothing but a house party.
Oh, really? Oh my gosh. Was that because when he was in the womb, you had lots of house parties and he was used to that sound?
It's possible. I don't know.
Because it's what goes in.
Well, I was in my very early 20s.
Yeah, there you go.
Life was very different. And maybe. But which, funny enough, later in life, he doesn't like that sort of music at all.
Oh,
but back then.
He's matured now.
Maybe, yes, exactly. Well, we all have a little bit. But I always put it down to the beat being, very heartbeat related. And I mean, you can do so much with music. Yeah. Well, it's like little side note, but it's got to do with birth, I guess.
Yeah.
There are particular bands out there who have very successful songs. Bands, maybe DJs and producers, right? And there's a particular beats per minute that actually works with the human body.
Yeah, right.
Right? So it's a bit of a trick.
Yeah.
It's 128 beats a minute.
Yeah.
So if music's at 128 or very, very close, it actually syncs with the human body.
So I wonder if they did that deliberately.
They do it deliberately.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, they do it
right.
deliberately.
Oh, that's very clever because, it does make a difference, doesn't
it? That's right,
it?
yeah. So there's some
it all
famous
comes down
artists
to
who've done
energy, doesn't it?
Yep,
it's all energy. It's what resonates with the human body.
Yep.
We're on the same frequency.
You listen to, say, David Guetta, right? A famous producer DJ. Pretty much his entire albums are 128, 128, 128.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but it's done for that reason. And even, funny kind of bands like LMFAO, other people like
and you can use that.
Pardon?
You can use that to anchor in a visualization, and you might find that especially if you search for it on YouTube, you can actually find guided visualizations that have it at a certain frequency, so that it anchors it in, because all different levels.
It's so clever.
Whatever. Yeah, it
it's
does.
so clever. Look, a friend of mine, Shannon, is a musical, just a superstar. What he doesn't understand about music, he understands all the frequencies. He's just truly amazing.
Yeah.
And does all soundproofing of things where it will screw with your mind. The soundproofing of the room is so good.
Oh, wow,
I was actually in a room, one of his, they're called a dead room, but I was in a room that was built for a Perth band. I'm sorry, its name escaped me right now. anyway, it doesn't really matter. A famous Perth band, and it's fallen out of my head. But anyway, I walked in there, and when he and I had a conversation, it was really, really weird because I would speak to him and I'd actually hear my voice stop about a foot in front of my mouth.
That's weird.
So it sounds weird, and you have this conversation.
Yeah.
So Birds of Tokyo, that's who it was for them. Anyway, and anyway, that's very interesting. But what I'm getting, where I was going on it, is the fact the frequency thing. So he can actually put different frequencies in songs that will actually change your body chemistry. You can actually, your body will react in all different ways. And I wonder, like, maybe that's a clever way of getting into you. If you spoke to someone like that and you, for playing music for birth.
Yeah, absolutely.
How clever would that be?
Oh, it'd be amazing.
Because
Yeah,
you can actually use that to use the frequency and the vibrations to relax your body.
Exactly. And even communicating with a baby in utero. So playing this music while you're pregnant, while you're doing your visualizations, so you're talking to the baby, which is, something that I have got a visualization track actually on my website that is called Communicating with Your Unborn Baby. It doesn't have that music, although the music behind it has been channeled by a dear friend of mine, Christine Morrison, who actually does soul music. She channels soul music, and which is energetically aligned with your soul, which is really amazing. So that's the backing music for my soundtrack to Communicating with Your Unborn Baby.
I think it's a very important thing. I think it's, we all, whatever culture you come from, whatever the color of your skin, or you're this, you're that, your religion, who cares? Well, who cares? Full stop. But music is something that we all.
It's universal.
It is totally universal.
It is.
And there's there's science behind that, but there's also very much soul behind that.
Exactly.
And I think if you can incorporate music into like events, even all events in your life, you can improve with music.
Oh, you can, and you can use it as an anchor point when you're trying to anchor in like a visualization or a new belief system or anything, so that you can play a certain music. Which is why I say Enya. I love Enya music, because I listened to that all the time when I was pregnant with each of my kids, and I played it through the birth. So anytime I listen to Enya now, I just drop straight in because it's so well practiced. So it's like hypnobirthing. Like I was hypnobirthing before I even knew what hypnobirthing was.
Right.
Because when I did my hypnobirthing training, I was like, oh, this is what I've been doing all the time anyway for the births of my kids. So then, it was just that, now it's actually got a name. But,
Yeah, well, that's right. Don't you feel good about yourself when you've been doing things for years and you find out, I'm very clever.
But this is probably where things originate from, because other people have had those experiences and then develop a program around it.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, it's a big thing. Okay, so we're here. It's January. Okay, or you might, I shouldn't even say that because that's the wonderful thing about.
It might not be January when you're listening.
You could be listening right now at any time in the future. Simple as that. But okay, as we sit here, it's January, beginning of the year. What sort of soulful kind of basis points? I don't know, things that we can do. Like, can we draw a line here that things that'll actually improve our lives going to the next year?
Drawing a line. Wow, I like that, because that's like we can decide now consciously to step across this line and leave anything behind that no longer serves us.
That's where I'm going. I like that.
Really?
There we go. That's exactly where I'm going.
Oh, there you go. I must have read his mind again. Oh, my God, this is getting bad. This is serious.
We spent too much time together. What's going on there?
This is worry. But moving forward, now we can make a decision right now, like what do we want for our life moving forward? And like, are we in a habit of thinking negatively? Are we attracting all the wrong things to us that are still giving us soul lessons?
Sure.
But do we want to keep continuing these soul lessons that are having a negative impact? Or do we want to say, okay, well, they're staying across the back end of the line, we left those behind, and we're moving into a new future, which is actually going to attract quite the opposite. We're going to bring in all positive things now, so we can start to do visualizations and affirmations and all those things that will attract that to us.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm thinking of, the visualization side of things. Can that be the conscious decision to kind of fire the unconscious part of you?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it's funny because next week we're going to have the episode that you kept wanting me to do last week. Because it's going to be a couple of days before the new year of, the new lunar year. So 29th of January is I say Chinese because they practice the feng shui. That's, I practice feng shui. Sure. So the lunar new year begins on the 29th of January 2025. So I want to do an episode on that. And this is where we can actually activate the sectors of our house to actually amplify this and, bring in all the things that we want to do. So we can use visualizations. vision boards if you're into that,
Mm.
affirmations, all kinds of things, energy activation for all the different sectors of your house.
It's only 3 days after Australia Day. That's going to be a hard challenge for me. It's a long way back. It's a lot of celebrating on the 26th.
Oh,
so,
my gosh.
no, I mean, that's great. I'm going to ask an embarrassing question for myself, right? No, because I don't know. Okay. But is the 29th of January the Lunar New Year every year, or does it move?
No, it changes every year.
I thought so. Because, I felt a bit silly for a minute there because I thought to myself, no, I remember it being on a different day.
Yeah, no, it changes every year. It's all based on the soul, the
lunar,
all the dates. And I'm going to go into that next year about how that's all, how do you call it, how we come up with the Lunar New Year. Sorry, blah, blah, blah.
No, it's okay. One of our wonderful family here at Edge, Travis Carter, always gets upset about the term Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
Not that it's Chinese anything, but he's got an absolutely wonderful wife. Loanne is Vietnamese. And, of course, all through that area of Asia, predominantly Asia, they celebrate the Lunar New Year.
Yeah, that's right. There's many countries, many areas
many
of
countries.
The
So
earth
exactly
celebrate
right.
the Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
It's just that when you're doing feng shui, it's all based because that's where feng shui started, was in China back more than 3,000 years ago. However, that's not the only place that actually practices that kind of. It's just energy again. So, it's an art form, but there's other art forms very similar. Like in India, they practice similar things, but it's called something different. But it's all basically
the Indians,
similar
they're on
things.
top of it, trust me. Yeah, that's right.
So, it's all energy and it's all different ways of working with it. And I just resonate with feng shui. So that's what we're talking about.
Because, and this is a great thing about, free will, all right? It doesn't matter where you're born in the world, whatever your upbringing is, you can identify, no, you can't identify some things, but other things, but you can identify with different cultural movements, right? Like it's not appropriation or any of this rubbish, okay? You're seeing something beautiful in another culture and you're celebrating it. It's a very, very cool thing.
Yeah, and that's the good thing about being connected, with the rest of the world now through technology and what have you, because we find out about all these amazing things that are going on in other countries and resonate with different things and go, I like that. So you can adopt that for yourself.
Yeah. And with yourself, I mean, I'll get personal here. Like in your life, were you always a person who was looking for this sort of thing, or?
Oh, I've just always been a lifelong learner, and I probably got that from my parents because I chose my parents very well.
Oh. Well done, you.
I did, and so my parents have always been into this kind of thing, especially Mum, because Dad was working full time until he retired, and so Mum was always into alternative therapies and that. So she's an astrologer and aromatherapist, and reflexologist and Reiki practitioner, all those things. And, even in the early days, she was into the juicing and the nuts and sprouting and all that. So I grew up with all of that, and I've always been very spiritual because I've always had a connection with spirit and talked to, other entities, God, I always had a direct line to God when I was a little kid, as early as I can remember.
Really?
Yeah. And so I've always had that, and I can't imagine life without it.
You're very, very lucky to be open to it. So many people in life, they just work so hard to shut themselves off from these other, and it brings so much to your life.
It does. And I believe everybody has the capability of connecting in spiritually. It's just that some may not want to because it's not their path, and some others that may want to but have trouble doing it.
Yeah.
But that's where visualization is great. It's such a great tool because it can help people to actually tap into, other things, their spiritual, higher self or their subconscious or anything. So,
Well, that's kind of my thing. I think that, talking to you when you visualize things, you are bringing that to your conscious level, right? And therefore, your subconscious has got no sort of option but to tap into it.
And we can really, when we actually embrace our subconscious and start working with it, once you wade through all the dark stuff. But it's good when the dark stuff comes up because it makes you realize what there is that you still need to shine a light on, and then you can embrace it. You love all parts of yourself.
Oh, no. Take the batteries out, Swatch. You don't need to see that. No way, no, nothing to see here. Please move on. It's 100% right. Honestly, and to figure out who you are, we run through life and we get to this, what's the meaning of life kind of feeling, and what am I about? Why am I here? Well, okay, some of the bad things that have happened to you, I mean, they're there for a reason.
They are.
Yeah, they happen for you,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah, like I said last week, life happens for us, not to us.
Absolutely.
So,
It's such a basic statement that's so incredibly true. Because if you hadn't had the adversity, you hadn't had whatever, it might not be adversity, it may just be a challenge in whatever department.
Yeah.
But these are the things that shape you.
They are.
If you're playing life on easy, and I've actually I had a little moment of a little bit of, I don't know, anger, I guess, to myself about this, about some people that I've had in my life who have literally, I look at it like a computer game, like they've been living life on easy mode, and they've never, ever, ever had to be challenged, right? And it's made them quite selfish and shallow, right? And I think that if you've got to, get that game, and you've got to turn the difficulty up more and more and more, and if life gets a bit harder, you're challenged to dig deeper into yourself, and you actually find you build character in a very true sense, and you become a better person. You become a more empathetic person, understanding person. You become a more rounded person, right?
You do entirely.
Yeah. Whereas if it's always easy, you don't have to go there.
Exactly. But we don't actually know what's going on for another person either. Like, it may appear that they're on easy street, but they may be battling something, that we don't know about. So,
look at me being judgmental.
So exactly, yes, you judgy person.
I know, judgy.
That's the thing. Like, when you're on this path, you realise, we can't judge another person, because we're all on our own soul journey, and it may appear all beautiful out there for other people, but everybody has their own little battles going on.
Well, on that front, I'm going to say about visualization and social media. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is, again, my opinion, me being judgy. I think too many people are judging themselves and basing their lives on what they see, their visualization of, oh my God, this person's having this amazing life. I need to aspire to be like that.
Yep.
In those respects, I see that as an incredible negative.
Exactly. Especially things like Snapchat and that. We have all the filters to make yourself look different. And then I've heard that plastic surgeons are actually going out of their mind, because women are going to them with a picture of, them on Snapchat with these unreal features, and they're saying, I want to look like that. And they're going, that's not possible. That's not exactly. So
unless you walk around with a screen next to you all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
In front of you. But it's so true. I've literally met women I don't recognise because I've seen their social media site, and if I met them in the street, I'd walk straight past.
Exactly.
I wouldn't know. And it's not fair on you, right? You're setting yourself up for failure by not embracing who you are.
That's interesting, but that's their journey too, because we're on a journey of self-love. So, if we don't love ourselves, we're always trying to change ourselves. So the journey will eventually, hopefully, bring them back to loving themselves,
Well, yeah, and again, on the flip side of the judgy is this. I've got a friend of mine who's just had a facelift, right? And I already saw people getting judgy on this, right? Like, oh, why would you get a facelift? To be happy with who you are. And my attitude is, hey, you give your house a coat of paint. Okay, look, if it's going to make you feel better, if it's about you,
that's right.
Then
it all
just
comes
do
down,
it.
Absolutely, like no judgment anywhere. It's all like whatever makes you happy, go do that. It's like it's your journey, it's your life, and whatever makes you happy, go and do that.
Well, my only point where I went on that is the fact that with social media we set up fake, unrealistic expectations, right? And it's not a good place to live. It really isn't. And I don't want people to live in a world of envy. Okay, a couple of people I know who I thought were like, they just look like a perfect couple. They're all the Instagram pictures, all their Facebook. Geez, they look good. Almost level. Gee, I felt a little bit jealous. Life is so good for you guys. And then I caught up with one of them quite by accident, I don't know, a few months ago, and they've been separated. They broke up, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Because life wasn't as rosy.
Exactly.
They
and
just
that's
felt
what I was saying.
Yeah.
But isn't it interesting to get the mirror and reflect back to you? Like, what was it that what your reaction was to that? So what's that reflecting back? Why were you feeling envious?
Exactly. Mainly because they were fit and I'm too lazy to get fit.
But see, that's the thing. Spirit gives us, little challenges there, just like our subconscious, whatever it is, it pops up and says, look, if you're judging another person or seeing something that you wish you had or whatever, then what's that addressing in you? Like, what's your subconscious saying to you?
Well, why not admire people rather than envy them?
Yeah, that's what I say. I always come from a place of love, always give out love and just, if you're envious, feeling envy, start feeling love instead and thinking how lucky they are. Isn't that wonderful? And it's probably not even luck. They've probably worked their butt off, worked really hard to get to that point. So give them love. And, if you keep radiating out love, then love comes back to you. Supposedly. These are all the spiritual lessons that, whatever you put out comes back tenfold. So if you're always judging and knocking other people, if you're always negative, then that's what's going to come back. You'll have more reasons to feel that way.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. We're all on our own little journey, and it's what we do with it, and the decisions with the people we choose to be in our lives, and then how we react to them and how we experience others.
Yeah.
It's up to us.
It is. And that's why the power of visualization and affirmations are so powerful, because, you know, that helps us to stay in a positive mindset, keep projecting out what you want, but in the, like, as if it's already happened, and giving gratitude, you know, giving thanks for all the good things in life.
So in closing, can you give me sort of, again, you know, the brochure, the running past sort of, well, you know, I'm not going to settle down for a novel rather here. But yeah, like, what's some just very quick, simple tools of visualization rather that will be really, really good for your life every day?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's an inside job, Aaron. It's it's an inside job. It's about dropping inwards and, you know, visualizing, start and trusting what you're getting. So just practice visualization, and if you need the help, just start looking out for visualizations that are already available to actually train your brain to start.
I think you just nailed it, though. You look inward. Okay?
Yeah, you do. Everything, all the answers lie within. So, you know, stop looking out there. Start going inwards and visualizing what you want for your life, and, you know, what's going to make you happy, or, you know, because happiness begins from here.
Now, Faye, if somebody wants some more information, people actually want to talk to you and have something personalised rather than, you know.
Oh, yeah, because I can certainly do that.
Yeah, because this show pretty much becomes therapy for me, right?
Oh, yeah. Glad to be of help.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much.
Haven't got enough days in the year for that.
No, you certainly haven't. So, yeah, if people want to get in touch and maybe get a little touch of a personalisation from yourself, how can they do so?
Yeah, well, I've got my website, which is now up and running properly.
Fantastic.
So it's at soulbirth.com.au, and all my contact details are there and how you can work with me.
Fantastic. And obviously all over the socials. So,
Yep, on Facebook and Instagram and everywhere.
Everywhere. Now. Look at that. All right. Well, thank you very much for this week's session. I really appreciate it. Yeah, and we'll get out of here. This has been Soulbirth, your Edge Radio Australia.
Bye for now.